Hello and welcome to another A-Level Economics video with me, Mr Goff, from MrGoff.com. This video will focus on types of economy. The role of an economy is to solve the basic economic problem of scarcity by answering the questions: what should be produced, how should it be produced, and for whom should it be produced. An economy includes individuals who consume goods and services. They also provide their labour to create goods and services, whether that's in their own business or for somebody else. They may also own factors of production that are employed to provide goods and services, for instance, people that have a second home that they rent out. An economy also contains a number of groups. For instance, businesses will be represented by industry-specific lobbying groups, as well as broader groups like the Chamber of Commerce. Trade unions represent groups of workers. Charities and religious groups champion the rights of the poor and disenfranchised. Decisions at various levels of an economy are also taken by groups: families at a household level, communities at a local level, or the acting government at a national level. The government's role is to ensure the good running of the economy, and it has the power to set laws and regulations to achieve this. They also aim to improve fairness and as such provide certain services themselves, like health and education, so that everyone has access to them. Interdependence is the concept that the actions of all the individuals, groups, and the government in an economy directly impact on each other. An example of this can be seen with the sugar tax. The sugar tax was introduced by the government because they thought that obesity was putting a strain on the health service. In response to this, producers of sugary drinks and other sugary products either reduced the amount of sugar in their products or switched to sugar substitutes. Consumers, faced with higher prices, chose the new drinks that had lower sugar in them or had to pay a higher price. There are two primary methods for allocating resources in an economy: the market mechanism and planned allocation. Resources allocated by the market mechanism will be distributed on the basis of who buys them. The price of these resources will be based on supply and demand. That means it will be determined based on the price sellers are willing to sell it for and the amount people are willing to pay to buy it. Planned allocation refers to a situation where resources are allocated by an overriding authority. For example, the parents in a household, councils in a local area, managers or owners in a business, and the government in a country. Economies can be distinguished based on the degree to which they use the market mechanism as compared to planned allocation. There are three types of economy: market economies, planned economies, and mixed economies. Market economies are sometimes called free market or capitalist economies. In a market economy, the majority of resources are allocated by the market mechanism, with a smaller amount allocated by planned allocation. Planned economies are sometimes called command economies. In a planned economy, the majority of resources are allocated by the state, with a smaller amount allocated by the market mechanism. Mixed economies have aspects of planned economies and aspects of market economies. In reality, there are no pure planned or market economies. Countries like North Korea and China, where planned allocation is the main way of allocating resources, would still be termed as being planned economies. At the other end of the spectrum, countries like the United States and Singapore mostly use the market mechanism within their economy, with a smaller role for government. Countries like Sweden and the United Kingdom that have a bigger emphasis on social welfare, with more payments to the unemployed and national health services, would be considered to be mixed economies. That brings us to the end of this video on types of economies. Join me in the next video when I'll be looking at the relative advantages and disadvantages of planned and market economies. Use the resources at mrgoff.com to help you revise economics, and until next time, it's bye for now.